Hi Gemini, welcome to your mid-November read. Let's see what the cards have for you. Starting with the Six of Cups, beautiful, the King of Pentacles, and the Justice, amazing, clarified by the Hanged Man, King of Cups, and the Two of Cups, beautiful. Bottom of the deck, you have the King of Wands. Nice energy. Four of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, okay. The King of Wands has a lot of authority. He's an adventurer and a traveler. It's like he's been all over the world. He's got that world map behind him. He's got his backpack ready to go again. But he's also in his throne. He's taken charge of this. He doesn't rush into any adventures without careful consideration now because he has responsibilities. I feel like you're taking charge of your life in a really positive way. There's a sense of responsibility, but also having fun. It's a really nice balanced energy that I'm feeling. The Four of Pentacles under there and the Knight of Wands. It's really interesting. The Knight of Wands makes sense. The Four of Pentacles feels like a strange anomaly poking in between those two cards. The Four of Pentacles tends to be a card of someone making themselves quite small. He's holding on really tight to his pentacles and isn't open to anything new coming his way. It's the card of the miser. He's holding so tight to what he has that he can't see that there's better out there, that there's more out there. I feel like that Four of Pentacles is asking you to be a bit more generous with yourself. But it's also a sense that you've kind of learned that lesson, that it's not worth holding really tight to something if it means neglecting or missing out on a whole lot of other stuff. And I'm keeping it kind of vague because it could be anything. The Pentacles tend to be about practical, material world aspects rather than emotional, but there's always an emotional component in there. So, if we're being really literal, it could be that you've realized that it's not worth saving your money for something without ever having any idea of what you're going to spend it on. You're better off using it to have your adventures. It's that kind of energy. It's like you've learned that lesson. And now you are being a little bit more balanced with your energies, with your finances, with your time. But if you do find yourself being a little bit stingy with yourself, depriving yourself of an adventure or a treat at the supermarket or whatever, just make sure that you're not coming from that Four of Pentacles energy. It's okay to be cautious and careful with your finances and with your health if we're talking about food or treats or whatever. But you want to make sure that it's coming from the right place, not from a mental space of Four of Pentacles, I've got to hold on to everything I've got just in case kind of energy. You can have little treats and little adventures because that's what makes life worth living. If you're living in that Four of Pentacles energy, you're keeping yourself small. It's not really living. It's holding on tight to something that you can't take with you in the end anyway. So just be a little bit more loose. Like I said, I feel like you've actually learned that lesson, and that's why the King of Wands is sitting over the top of that Four of Pentacles, and you are being a bit more generous, but in a responsible way. That's what I feel is really positive. You're not overindulging and you're not rushing off on adventures left, right, and centre that you can't afford or that's reckless or inconsiderate, but you are still having adventures. It's great. It's really great. So this is the energy, this sense of responsible adventurousness that's overseeing this read. And I'm really curious to see how it plays out. From what I'm seeing, everything is looking incredibly positive for you right now. So let's have a look. You've got the Six of Cups and the Hanged Man in your current situation. You are assessing, you're taking a time to assess something. It's like I got the sense of something reawakening in you. The Six of Cups can be a card of soulmates, or a reconnection with a past love, or if not a past love, something you used to love doing, like a hobby or something that just made you feel like a kid again, a game that you used to play, jigsaw puzzles, something that's just sweet and innocent and reconnects you with that inner child. And this Hanged Man, you're looking at this from a higher perspective, and I feel like it's giving you clarity on what brings you joy, on what's important to you. It might not be the specific thing that's reawakened your heart, but it's enough that whatever that is has opened you up to looking at things from a higher perspective and recognizing what you've prioritized. And that is definitely what I'm feeling with that King of Wands energy. It's a sense of you're allowed to have adventures. You're allowed to enjoy your life. It doesn't need to be extreme. It can be balanced. He's very balanced with that Hanged Man energy. But it's about reconnecting back in with what makes you happy, what brings you joy, sweet, innocent little things that just make you happy. They might not make sense to anyone else around you, but it brings you joy. And you're starting to wake up to this, and I love it because I feel like it's changing your life. I'm starting to pick this up for a lot of the reads. These are small, internal, incremental changes that are going to have really far-reaching impacts. They're about recognizing what we prioritize and how we live our life, not externally, but internally. Now, what do we focus our attention on? And I feel like it's starting to move us. The energy this month is moving us away from our external focus of news and other people's dramas and problems and all the chaos that's going on everywhere. And it's kind of bringing back a sense of fun and play and finding that innocent joy that kind of disconnects us from the chaos and the drama. And it's building and building. And I feel like this month is an opportunity for us to start making that a priority for ourselves. That sweet heart connectedness, that can become our priority instead of watching the news or doom scrolling or keeping up with all the celebrity gossip or whatever it is. All of that external stuff that really doesn't impact us on a day-to-day basis. We can jump into it when we need to or when we feel like we want to have a little bit of a splurge. But I feel like the energy is really pushing us to make it less of a main focus and more of a background energy. And we're bringing in this beautiful Six of Cups, this innocent, sweet, heart-centered connectedness, reminding us of what we loved as a kid and recognizing that we can bring that kind of emotion and energy back into our lives again, maybe not in exactly the same way, but there are going to be things as an adult that bring us the same feeling. It's a really beautiful energy. The more I tune into it, the more I feel it's a collective thing. It's not just a sign-to-sign thing. It's all of us. We're all being shifted internally this month in a really beautiful way. All right, moving on. Your influencing energies, you've got the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Two kings. My goodness, so much powerful, powerful energy. You're steering your own ship and bringing in the love. And how happy is this particular King of Cups? He's dancing on the beach in the storm. He doesn't care. He's just full of joy, wanting to share the love with the world, calling through his conch. And you've got three kings, by the way, now. You've got the King of Wands, Pentacles, and the Cups there. That's a lot of powerful energy. That's a lot of take charge energy. And it feels like you're doing that in your life. You're taking charge of this. You're steering your own ship. You've recognized what brings you joy, and what you're steering towards is this sense of passion and love and emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. And because they're kings, they're not queens. You've got all kings and none of them are queens. You're actually manifesting it externally. The kings are a yang energy. They're more externally focused. So you're creating in your life means to bring this in for yourself. It's not just about changing your perspective on what you already have. You're actually changing and creating things in your life that align with that Six of Cups energy, that bring you that sense of balance, of emotional balance and material balance. The King of Cups and the King of Pentacles as well, that's balancing your material world with your passion. So it's not about giving everything up or giving anything up. It's about finding the balance between the two, between what's practical and what's needed to allow your life to function as it does, as it has to in the real world, and what brings you emotional satisfaction. The two don't necessarily have to be mutually exclusive, but they often are because the majority of us don't love the work we do. We just do it because we need the money to live in the world as it is right now. But what these are saying is that you're starting to recognize through this Hanged Man, through this higher perspective, that you can find a balance between doing what you have to do and doing what you love to do. And you're actually making it happen in the external world. Like I said, it's not just about changing your inner perspective. You've got that higher perspective with the Hanged Man, but all three kings there They're all saying that you're doing something in your material world, in your physical reality, to balance out your priorities, your financial and material priorities with your emotional fulfillment priorities. And it's all about bringing you back into that Six of Cups, heart-centered energy. And oh my goodness, to have the Justice and the Two of Cups in your outcome, you are definitely going to be successful. This is both of these all about balance, balancing your priorities. Justice will be served. And the Two of Cups, this is a very similar vibe to the Six of Cups. It's that soulmates energy. So for some of you, there could be a reconnection with someone that really does light up your heart. But this for me really feels like finding that inner balance, that emotional balance. I actually really love that it's come under the Justice card, because the Justice can sometimes feel quite cold. And with the Two of Cups underneath, it's basically saying that there's heart in this, that there's love and passion in this balance that you're finding, that the King of Cups is not being dismissed when this balance comes in. It's not like you're balancing your priorities with work and with family and with friends and with your hobbies and whatever else is going on in your life. This is about balancing all of those things that you have to do with all of those things that you really want to do that bring joy to your heart. You're really figuring out a way to make this work, because you've seen that that's what life is about. It's not worth just staying small and holding really tightly to these pentacles and not letting yourself live just because you're afraid that you're not going to have enough. You've realized that life is about living, and you're finding a way to make that work at this time. And I'm so happy for you, Gemini. This is a really beautiful energy. Let me pull some advice cards for you. Okay, we got the Knight of Wands. Amazing. It's all about taking action, having adventures. We had him under here, didn't we? There we go. Beautiful. He's come to the surface now. All right. The Nine of Cups just flipped over. Beautiful. Ooh, and the Ten of Cups. Wow. Okay. Well, Gemini, this feels like a kind of big ask for you. This is the advice that's come in. Essentially, this is saying to take action towards bringing your wishes in so that you can have your happy ever after. That's all. Just take action to make all your wishes come true. But I feel like it's not going to be that big an ask for you this month, because you have reconnected with that inner energy, with that Six of Cups. This was that first awakening, and it's given you that opportunity to see things from a higher perspective and to recognize that life is for living. And you've got the energy, the drive, and the passion to make it happen. So these cards are kind of saying, just do it. Make it happen. Treat it like an adventure. Take action. Create your wishes. This is kind of asking you to not put all of your hopes in the universe magically making it happen for you. And I don't feel like you're expecting that, because all of those kings are very take charge kind of energies. But because these are about wishes coming true, I'm really getting the sense that it's possible right now, and you don't need anyone's help. You can step up and make them happen, and trust that your happily ever after is waiting for you. It's right there for you, Gemini. So keep that in mind. Keep that as your goal and work towards your wishes coming true. This is really cool. All right, 3 final message cards for you. Oh my goodness, where did that one come from? 10 of Swords. The King of Swords. Okay. Okay, the Lovers. And then we've got the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. The Fool and the Nine of Swords. All right, this is really interesting. I really wasn't expecting to see a card like that 10 of Swords. Certainly not that 9 of Swords. But you've got the 4 kings now. You've got the king from every suit. So you're definitely taking charge here with this Emperor. And this is a brand new adventure with that Fool. I'm curious about the 9 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. There's clearly some mental stuff that's going to come into play. Because they're under the surface, I am actually being drawn to the 4 of Pentacles. The only reason I'm curious is that it's come right out of the blue. there were no other swords until the Ten of Swords popped out. And then we've got the Nine of Swords, which is all about anxiety and stress. But I am feeling the sense that it's connected to that Four of Pentacles. Under the surface, just be mindful that you may have old thoughts, old patterns that come up. It's like you're getting in your head all of a sudden, like you're on this journey towards manifesting your wishes and you're happily ever after. And then suddenly you get all these thoughts coming in saying, what if I can't do it? Or if it turns out I didn't want it after all? Just whatever kind of anxious thoughts might come up. They're buried. They're underneath those much higher level energies, those major arcana. And I feel like that's why I said with that Ten of Cups, to keep that in mind, to keep this vision for what your life is going to be as your focus, so that you don't get caught up in those old thought patterns, those old stresses, self-doubts, lack of belief, all those small energies, that Four of Pentacles. Now we'll come back to this Ten of Swords. This is the death of the ego. It's a dramatic ending. It tends to be kind of a shattering of beliefs or a belief system. But the sun's rising in the background. His hand is in the same position as the Hierophant's hand. So it's about an awakening, the dawn after the dark night of the soul before the dawn. I'm feeling like what is happening here with what you're going through, this is actually quite a profound transformation for you. It's a reawakening of your heart energy. And I feel like as that happens, it's shaking off some old stuff. And you might have a few moments where it feels a bit overwhelming, or you suddenly feel like the world is wobbling beneath your feet. But I don't feel like you have anything to worry about. You've got so many positive cards all around it. This is the first one that's come up like this. And it's immediately followed by the King of Swords, which is all about clarity and freedom of thought. Like I said, he's the final king. He's rounding out our four kings. It's like you're mastering every element here. Your energy, your material world, your emotions, and now your thoughts. So whatever happens, if you have a moment of feeling suddenly overwhelmed, or everything's changing, or you don't know what you're doing, any kind of self-doubt or fear or confusion, anything like that, I feel like you just need to kind of ride it out and trust that you'll gain the clarity that you need. And if any choices come up that need to be made, the Lover's card is saying follow your heart. This is a very high level energy. It's asking you to reach new heights. Trust that your angels are watching out for you. They've got that glorious sun shining on you. You have nothing to worry about here. Your heart knows what it wants. You've got the Lovers over the top of that Two of Cups and that Ten of Cups, with the Nine of Cups right in there as well. There's so much love, so much joy available to you. So if at any point you do have a bit of a dark night of the soul, or any kind of confusion or lack of clarity, connect in with your heart and trust that the clarity will be restored. And you are moving into that Emperor energy. He's a very similar energy to this King of Wands. I actually frequently say that the King of Wands in this deck has more of an Emperor energy than the actual Emperor, who's got a bit of a shaman, mystical energy about him. So you've basically got two Emperor energies on either side of this spread. You are taking control. You are taking charge here. There's just a sense of authority and certainty and comfort in your position as the authority in your life. And I'm so loving it for you, Gemini. This is looking like a really interesting time for you. Keep your goal in mind of that happily ever after, and keep taking action to bring in those wishes, and you'll be fine. Have an amazing time.